such a big family the way that we do, and all of the personalities within the family.
But that's how I always feel about, like, if I always say, if I was to have a wedding, it's hard to have a wedding because y'all got 10 million people.
But then that goes back to our conversation about the blended family. Even if we do something small, just from Kaya's house, they're from Keith's house.
That's 10 people.
10 people, just from 2 houses. That's 10 people.
Listen, he had his wedding in the States, but my family, I have 10 siblings. Those siblings have offspring, and then I have aunts, I have uncles, I have from the K side, I have from the R side. So my list was astronomical.
That's how I feel.
And then my husband, his mother, she has what, 9 siblings?
Damn.
And all those siblings got children, and those children have children. So we was like, carry the one.
We're gonna have to do this.
We're gonna be able to do this.
That's how I feel. I want a wedding so badly, but I'm like, look, y'all gonna have to sell a kidney.
I had 300 people at my wedding.
I'm going to City Hall when time comes.
Simone Biles did it. Simone Biles and
300.
Her husband did it.
You had 300 people?
I had 300 people at my wedding.
You did?
I was 300 or 200. No, it might have been 2. I'm sorry. It was 200.
That's a small concert.
But that might be mine, and that might even still be like, because 200 is just from my side.
You know what? That's a good idea. Let's do a potluck.
I know, but the thing is, I'm like, who cooked that? Who made that?
Yeah, no, you too picky about who made what.
Right, that's what I said. Who made that? She made the potato salad. No, I don't want that. Okay.
Who all over there?
Who all over there? That's it. Oh, that is it. Who all over there? Before I go anywhere, I'm like, who there? Okay.
But yeah, but even with just thinking of an event, whether it's somebody's birthday, somebody's barbecue, it's just, even with just us, it's at least
just with just us, 50, it's still 2 tons. It's still 2 tons of fun.
It's at least.
Look,
gotta get that.
Shauna would tell you I cried for choosing 30 people for my birthday dinner for my 30th birthday. I was crying. I was like, I can't choose.
She was going through it.
I told her, I was like, girl, hang out with your millennials. Go hang out with your millennials.
No, but
I'm all right.
Once you said that, I was like,
okay.
You know what's happening though, because when you hit a certain age in your 40s, you're like, I want to stay home. That's how comedians said that. When she hit your 40s, like, I'm gonna sit this one out.
But birthday's a little different from a wedding, though.
Yeah,
I think people might feel a way if you invite
about
this
wedding,
person, but then don't invite the other person. Like, I don't know.
Oh, no.
Think, you like me more than you like him?
Different. So it
will definitely cause issues, and it has caused issues within the family.
Caused issues because it's different if you invite me but don't invite Kaya. That's like, do you really think I'm going to go if she's not invited? If it's, like a friend, or like if one of our brothers or sisters or like the nieces did something and only invited one, and it just doesn't seem.
Might have to do that joint on Zoom.
No, legit. Legit.
Just send you a link.
Right.
You could join the wedding on Zoom.
I mean, talking about not
Noe,
even on
does
the
your
on
does your
Zoom.
Noe, does your wife have a big family?
Not yeah and no. I mean, I think it might be big to somebody who doesn't have a big family, but if you have a big family, then no. Like we
Like
had,
yours. Like you.
yeah. So like for our wedding,
Your big family.
I think we had to have at least 200 people. So I was just like, well, that'd be pretty easy. So if there was 200 plus people, let's just say 150 of them were mine, and
Okay, so I got 178 on my side,
That's
You
and the
got
rest is all you.
You got a strong 30 seats. What you do with these 30 seats?
a strong 30. A strong 30.
Pick a wisely.
Lucky you got the 30. I was gonna try to give you 20.
I mean, it worked out for us just because it was like, all right, so who are you gonna invite? Because I was just writing everybody's name down, like, yeah. And she was just like, yeah, I'm not. She was like, yeah, those are C-list family members. I'm not. So I was just like,
Feelings.
well, I was like, yeah, no,
Not
I
even
was just like,
feelings.
I don't even really have C-list family members. I'm like, everybody's kind of just, it's like A and B at the very, maybe like B plus or A minus. I'm like, I don't have C-list family members. So I'm like, everybody
right. I get it.
coming through. But I
Shut up,
mean,
Eve.
No, I know, because I'll be like, I get it. Like, when you have a big family, you go through all of that. Like, no.
like
Especially if
at
you're
my
close.
wedding, based on like friends, all my friends were my groomsmen. Yeah, I mean, everybody else that attended, there was like one table of like
That,
my actual friends. And then,
that wasn't like
that weren't like blood related.
like family.
It was one table and then maybe like two, maybe like 1.5 tables, and then maybe a handful of my groomsmen. Outside of that, everybody else was like we shared the same blood.
Yeah, see, I don't want to be on the other side of no 227 conversations where some of my aunties is folding their arms, rocking back and forth, talking about, Chris invited this person, but they ain't invited me. But you
Look,
ain't here for me. I don't want to be on the other side of that. I have no desire to be on the other side of that. This is a very
it could get
daunting
a lot.
conversation.
Brace yourself.
Right.
I'm
It could be a
mad
lot.
that you said your 227 conversation.
Because you have to think of it. You have to think of it. The day in which you decide that you want to go down the aisle. I got my friends, right? But my friends to be, my friends is my friends or whatever. But your grandmother.
Banana.
Well, she always used to bring you pudding in the morning. You don't remember when she used to bring you
Like, that was 12,
Banana.
13, 14 years ago.
She always asked
Tried
about
that
you.
too.
Huh?
I said, my mom tried that too. She was just like, oh, I'm gonna invite my friend. I was like, hey, would you invite? I'm like, first of all, look, you ain't invite your
They
friends
told
to
me.
my party. I'm like, oh no, it's my good friend. I don't know. What that got to do with me? She's like,
No, I would only invite people that know him. Like, I'm not gonna invite
my
people.
mom be like, oh, this
It
is
gotta
my
go
good friend
both
from
ways.
work.
No,
Like-
real talk though. Real talk now these days, because the way the economy is, I would be like, so how much you think she gonna bring me as a gift?
Oh no, that
No,
is
that part.
that
The
is
older ones
What?
bring money. They have
Yeah.
cash.
that's the people that you
I'm
want
like,
to
yo,
invite.
I'll be like, Mom,
One
bring your
Santa
whole
friend
posse.
is coming all in
Bring your whole posse. You got a whole
like,
say,
they all
a
coming
VIP
with
section for the paying.
What's behind that line? Oh, that's VIP.
They get special services because all the cars they bring on have over $200.
Yeah.
Your shit may have 50.
If you get an envelope.
Like, if
Exactly.
you get an envelope.
That's true. If just
I definitely went into my wedding with unreasonable expectations. Not really.
really?
And when you did your final count, were you like, oh
No, I went into my wedding thinking, first of all, I don't really ever think anybody's gonna get me anything. So I was just sitting there like, hey, I'm just trying to throw a good party. Like, at this point and went through hell to get here. So I'm just trying to have some fun.
So whatever you got, you was grateful for.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really expect to get anything. And then when I was talking to Dale, he was like, man, I got that. When I was just like, yeah, nah. It didn't go like that for me. But I'm like, hey, I mean, it is what it is.
Listen,
But I mean, he also had his frat brothers and all
I
that.
know, yeah.
So
He had a
somebody gave me a bag, a dollar store bag with a dollar store green vase in it, and didn't put their name on the fucking tag.
That place would have went up.
And I'm hoping that vase did not make it 25, 26 years later.
That shit went in the garbage.
Just
Would
making
have
sure.
held the bag up. Talking about,
I don't even, you know what it is? Like
the
thinking
bag.
back on it, I don't even really, I'm not even really concerned about the gifts. I kind of just be like, yo, if you ain't gonna come, just tell me, bro.
yeah.
That's
There ain't
that.
nobody
That's
spend no $180 on a plate and
On
you
a
don't
plate.
show up. Like somebody else could have came in if that was
Yep.
the case. Like my mom could have actually brought her friend that I don't know.
That you don't know.
And she would have gave you a card. Most
Mhm.
likely she would have gave you a card.
Miss Jenkins would have gave you a $200 card. But what
It's a lot to think about with weddings.
when the party started, she would have left early.
Okay, so when you have blended families, obviously you're going to have big parties.
True.
Big parties are going to be a part of that.
True.
And being able to navigate seating and personalities and attitudes and just everything that comes along, because Black people, we already extra as it is, and then you add the blendation of it, and then you add the sheer size of it, then it's just like it's an undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
It is something that takes skill, it takes knowing how to execute moves, because you're stupid. It takes a level of wisdom to just navigate a party, navigate an event.
It's a whole project. You have to put your project management head on and manage a whole project.
I made a spreadsheet.
There was so many times.
If any of y'all ever plan on doing something, I got a spreadsheet for you. I made a whole spreadsheet.
I had made a spreadsheet back in the back for my wedding, but didn't really need it because I had a destination.
But now the destinations are crazy amount of money.
You want to talk about executing moves?
Does anybody have any blendation 101 rules for the people?
Ask questions. I mean, depending on what exactly we're talking about. Like, so from a parenting perspective, I asked a ton of questions like, what are you cool with? I just wanted to know, what exactly do you want me to do? Because the one thing I didn't want to do was get in the way of like whatever routines and things y'all already got in place. So I can just add on to that, or I can just, whatever.
That, Noe.
Yes,
So
that was very mature of you.
Yeah, so even before I got into the whole thing, I called both of my brothers. I was just like, yeah, so look, I ain't never done this before. So whatever feedback y'all got, I'm willing to listen, and then we'll go from there. And then they both pretty much.
Uh-oh.
One of them was serious, and then one of them was not so serious, but then it turned out to be serious. But it was fun because so I called one of my brothers. I'll let you figure out who it was. And I was like, yo, what do you think about this? Nigga, don't do it.
I already know.
I know who that one was.
I know who that is.
I know who that one.
That was your husband.
Right.
How ironic.
I know you.
Like I knew that from the moment he
I knew that. When he said, nigga, don't
my sweet baby said that.
he talks to me like that. He's like, nigga.
Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Nah, so I was just like, yo, man. I was like, yeah, I ain't never done this before. This was like at like the beginning when I was considering like dating her. So I was like, yeah, I ain't never really done that. But I was just like, I do understand the responsibility that comes with it if it was to even get to that point. But you already did this, so what do you think? He was just like, he was like, he was joking, but he was like, nigga, I don't think you should.
I get it.
It was just funny the way he said it because as soon as I was done, he was like, nigga, I don't think you should do it. So I started laughing. I was like, well, you did it. He was just like, don't
I
do it.
know. He said, don't do. He had to sign up. Don't do it.
Decide.
Don't do it.
But then after that, we got into a more serious conversation, and he was just like, he just pretty much pointed out all the pros and cons. And I don't even want to say like the pros and cons, but he was just like all the things that can happen or whatever the case may be. So I was just like, yeah, no, I was like, I kind of thought about that, and then he asked like the standard brother questions, like, so was like there a dude involved? Because like, that could just be a headache in and of itself. So I was just like, no, there's not. That's why that was one of the main things as to why I even considered it. Because when it was just like, so what about the other dude? And it was just like, yeah, there is another dude. So, but I mean, it was just a lot of questions. So like starting with my brothers, I just asked them first, and then one I was asking from experience, and then I was just asking just in general, just because you're my brother. And then once I kind of got into it, then I just asked her like, what was her plan? How did she want to do things? And then what did she want my role to be? Just because regardless of him not being around, I still don't want to make it seem like I'm trying to replace him. And I don't want anybody to feel like I'm trying to replace him. So I just treated myself like I am in addition to. So she kind of just laid it out. She wanted me to be like, she's like, no, you've got to be tough for this. I'd be like, what you want me to be? You won't even be tough. You be here getting son.
You
Like,
wanted you to be the villain.
You know what I'm saying? So I used to always ask, and it took me a while. Like I would always tell her, like, hey, you should ask her this or tell her this. And I just pretty much, I kind of put her on the spot a lot and just was just like, look, whatever you're good with. And she never really understood it. Like, she's like, yeah, why do you keep like just do you think? She's like, I trust you, this, that, and that. I'm like, yeah, but you're not thinking of it the way that I think of it. Because I think of it like if my relationship with her gets screwed up, then my relationship with you gets screwed up. So I have to think of it for both, like my relationship with her is equal to your. If there is no relationship with her, there's no relationship with you. So
Right.
I don't just look at it as I'm just gonna go and do whatever and parent her or this and that or whatever the case may be. I'm like, because the day that I come down hard on her, whatever the case may be, she might come back and tell you something crazy. And then what? Are you gonna believe me? Like, or are you gonna believe her? I'm like, I'm not trying to be in that situation. So I'm like, I just want to know how you want me to navigate the situation. And obviously over time, we'll get to know each other and we'll grow through this thing. And then, we'll be equipped to do whatever. But for me, it was just asking a lot of questions. I probably asked too many questions before I even took action, but I was just playing it safe because in my mind, it was just like, that's just the best way to do it.
So piggyback on what you're saying, when I remember when we first got married, I called a family meeting amongst the three of us, and I said to my son, I said, listen, because we were all new to this, and he didn't really know much about me. It's just my dad, and keep in mind, we were married a year after we met, so this was really new for my bonus son. So I can only imagine what he was going through at the age of 11. Because at one minute he thought that his parents are going to be together, and then now his dad is married to some random bitch that he met a year ago.
Why you had to be a random bitch?
Right.
Like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm getting married next week. But what happened was I had a family meeting, and I said to him, listen, I'm not here to replace your mother at all, because his mom was involved. I'm like, I'm not here to replace your mom. There are going to be some rules. And I even said to him, and this was very important to me for him, was that if I'm ever hurting you and you do not feel comfortable telling me I'm hurting you, I need you to tell your father. I told him that because I didn't want it to be where he had a grudge against me for whatever reason. Because children look at things from a different angle, and they don't understand when a step parent is disciplining them. Some of them, not all of them, feel like, oh, they're doing this because of X, Y, and Z. So I wanted him to understand that I was coming from love. But if you felt like it was not coming from love, go tell your daddy, and we could put it out there, because I didn't want him to hold on to childhood memories like I did, and then now you're a grown man and hating your stepmother. So I made sure that we had that discussion from day one.
And you could see, because he just recently got married.
He got married.
Like you could see at the wedding his love for you.
Sure did.
So it was, it wasn't something that had to be touted. It wasn't something that needed to be like said. It was there.
And one of the things I've done with him for over the years, I never interrupted him and his dad's relationship. And that was one of my secrets. Like, I really was the side person. I was like how you have Howard Stern and what's the black lady name?
I never watched Howard Stern.
Oh yeah, I've been on his show too. You still don't know.
So I've always been that sidekick because I just never wanted to. I never even wanted his mother to feel like I was trying to take her place. And because so that's when it come down to that whole blended family, and we were talking about Jada Pinkett Smith and their blended family. A lot of times, the main mother, father, if they're involved, they're trying to fight for power too. So I never wanted her to feel that I was trying to overstep my boundaries. When it comes down to these blended families, there got to be somebody who's the head that says, okay, this is the rules and regulations of how we're all going to interact with one another, and that wasn't done. So it was a lot of crawling through the dark for the first few years. I think one of the things that happened with me and my son is that when he got married into a blended family, when he started dating his soon-to-be wife, he got to then be the father to two children that was not his. So then he got to play my role and see where, and I think he gained more respect for me and realized that I was prominent in his life where he probably was he reflected on the things that the areas where I could have been a bitch and I wasn't, and I allowed everybody to do their thing, and I said a lot of things in the background that he didn't hear. I would tell his dad, like, listen, you need to speak up on certain situations, but I wasn't the one in the forefront saying this, that, because I'm gonna tell you. So another sidebar for me is, and this is why this is a little traumatic for me, and this is why I played that role, was because there was an incident where my mom, we had a routine. My mom would bring me to my father like once a month or once every other month. My father was an alcoholic who lived with his mother, and they lived in Do-or-Die Bed-Stuy in Brownstone. They had the top apartment, and my father, he had a lot of issues, but one thing my mom knew, I had a strong relationship with my father. So with that being said, my father probably was drunk one day, and he just, tried to come on to my mother, but I was there. It wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't like he tried to kiss my mother or anything. He could probably say, hey, can I take you out or something? So my mother just so happened to tell my stepfather what happened. And my stepfather was like, well, then you can't take her ever again to see her father. Mm-hmm. So when I tell you that I was in 6th grade, and I never saw my father again until I was 18 years old. And my mother came to me and said, your stepfather, she said his name, he doesn't want me dropping you off to Bed-Stuy anymore. So you're going to have to ask your aunt if she can take you. Mind you, we were living in Brooklyn. My aunt was living in New Jersey. So with that being said, I'm in 6th grade, like 6th, 7th. I was actually in 5th grade. I remember I was in 5th grade. I'm not going to call that was not my responsibility. And God rest my mother's soul. that was not my responsibility. You should have called your sister up and said, listen, we have a problem. I can't drop my daughter off to see her father anymore. Can we make arrangements? Or somebody in Brooklyn. We have family members in Brooklyn. It was just like, okay, we can't take you anymore. So then I never saw my father ever again until I was 18, 19 years old.
And that's not fair.
Nope. So that's why my relationship as a stepmother was the way it was, because I said, you know what, I'm not going to take away a child's childhood or, you know, the dynamics that they have with their blood parents because of my issues with the mother, you know, in the situation. Because I had issues in the beginning, but he would never have known. He never knew that. I never made him know I had issues with his mother. I would never do that. Now we're fine. We're all cool. But I did not want I didn't want anyone to feel uncomfortable because I felt a little uncomfortable about the dynamics of the situation. So, because of what happened to me. Yeah, I'm gonna need some therapy. Kaya, this is all your fault.
He said, I am triggered.
It's a very dark show now.
I'm so sorry. I'm so very sorry. It does hit on a few topics, you know, a few things that could be triggering for us because we've all gone through something regarding this blended walk. I think we might need to come out with a best blended ways to blend black families. Best ways to blend black families with black families.
50 ways to blend black families.
I think we need to come out with that because we don't have that. We don't have that, and because of our egos and our own hangups, we stagnate the possibilities of love and joy to flow within the family. Even though you and that person may not be together anymore, it doesn't mean that you guys can't raise a dope individual. You know
it's
what I'm
just more
saying?
love to give. It's not even like people always think like, oh, you're taking away. No, it's actually just more we're giving. And like when you look at it, it was like at that way, especially coming from someone that's newly into it. It's just like I'm not trying to take anything away from what y'all got going on. I'm just trying to add to it. That's all I can do.
I think it's like you said, it's about putting the family first. So what is best for the family? If it's you, a spouse, and a kid, what's best for that? If it's you and 18 different brothers and sisters, what's best for that? It's about the whole.
We did therapy actually. Like after we got engaged, we started with we let her do a couple of sessions by her. So they had a conversation, and then we kind of had a family conversation, and then she started doing like her own little therapy.
Oh, that's nice.
Just centered around it, and then when we did marriage counseling, we included her in that, and then for a while, and then we also did therapy as a family. So that was just
that's good.
Smooth transition.
Yes.
Proud of you.
Man,
You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a little bit.
I'm being grown man.
Very good. Very good. So to all of our viewers, blended families can be the best when done properly. We're going to be sharing some videos of us just as family and how we get down. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. It's a time. A time can be had. A time can be had. Hallelujah. You know, we know how to pray together. We know how to laugh together. We know how to play together. And as Chris always says, tandem, we're bullies. You know, you have to have thick skin. You gotta have thick skin. You can't be bad because somebody talked about your forehead. You can't be bad because somebody talked. because
Mhm.
the way we get on each other is serious. But thank you for watching this episode of the Melanin Movement on Blended Families. Don't forget to check us out on Spotify, Apple Music, and wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click that notification button. Noe, Chris, E, Shauna, and Keish. I'm Kaya. Peace out. Feeling overwhelmed, lost, unable to break free from negative thoughts? In a world filled with noise and negativity, discover the power of positive thinking. Introducing From Affirmation to Manifestation, a transformative 30-day guide that will change your life. Join thousands who have unlocked the secret to success and abundance. In this book, you'll learn how to rewire your brain for success, one affirmation at a time. Watch as your dreams manifest before your eyes. Start your journey today and rewrite your story with From Affirmation to Manifestation. Get your copy now and step into the future filled with possibilities. Visit these retailers where books are sold to order your copy today and begin your transformation journey.